Ray, I know you've seen a lot, done a lot in your career, but were you caught a little bit by surprise by the reception you got, or did you hear it?
Not really. When I came onto the floor, I just assumed, there were some boo birds out there, but I assumed that, they're booing. I'm on another team. I expect that. This is, even though I played quite a while here and won some big games, I'm still on the opposing team, so I didn't expect any special favors.
Ray, can you talk about Dwayne obviously struggled with his 1 of 12 from the field. He said after the game he thanked you for being there. Can you just talk about this team and how there's always someone there for someone else and sort of the camaraderie and the sort of fellowship that when one guy's down, there's another guy who sort of picks up the rope?
Well, that's been our calling card all year with the depth that we have. We got so many guys that, are sitting on the bench that are so productive when they get in the game. Whether you played the last game or the last 2 or 3 games, you get in for 2 minutes, the guys come off the bench and are ready. And it's a great testimony to this team and us how we have grown from day one till now. And Dwayne, I didn't know that he was 1 for 12 until I looked at the stat sheet. He played hard, like he had 30. He still attacked and he still made the plays he needed to make. The ball just didn't go down for him, and we've all been in that situation. But we had other guys that plug in those gaps, and again, that's what this team is made of. Nobody hung their heads when we got down. We just continued to fight.
There's a great vibe.
Ray, even with all the accomplishments that you've had, the championship and that thing, I mean, what does it mean to you when you sit back and think about being the best shooter, the most prolific shooter in regular season and three-pointer and playoff history in three-pointers?
It just came out of nowhere. Just thinking about it over the last couple of games when I was made aware of it. I think about all the guys that came before me, and I think about what I've been able to do while I've been playing this game. And there's so many great players, great shooters, so many great athletes in general that have come into this game, and I've been able to, come here and leave my mark. Those guys set the bar. Reggie set the bar. Craig Hodges I looked up to. I played with Dale Ellis and Del Curry. I looked up to both those guys, and Ricky Pierce. So I played with some great shooters. So I had the opportunity to see firsthand, what it took to prepare and what it took to be able to be a great shooter in any moment at any time in the game. And so I'm just carrying on their torch. And, I know, there's kids looking up to me, and then one day they'll be looking at one of my records, hopefully, to take down.
And as a follow-up to that, I mean, you talked about different levels of comfort, with your role in Miami. Now that it's the playoffs, is this really where you feel like you can sort of dig into your role and sort of know what to expect?
Well, whatever in the playoffs, there's so many things that take place. You just have to hunker down and try to find a way to make this team better. There's not so many moving parts during the regular season. Now we have the same team. I know who my matchup is, the plays that they're running, what we need to run to be successful. So I try to find every opportunity, every moment to be more efficient out on the floor, to make my stabs when I can, but make these guys better and allow them to make me better. So it's easier more now to settle in, and every day has been a learning curve for me, just being on a new team. And I think we're still learning. Playoff basketball, this is our first time as this team together, and we're continuing to grow.
There's a great vibe and enthusiasm off the bench throughout the game, and then the bench players come in and translate that onto the floor. The starters go to the bench, and they're cheering everybody on. How important is it, that you guys are amping each other up throughout that game, cheering each other?
This team, these guys, truly love each other. Whether you're on the floor or on the bench, we're always trying to find a way to help who's on the floor. When we're in the locker room, there's so much banter that's taking place, whether everybody's a victim, whether it's good or bad stuff, jokes, whatever it may be. And, when we go play, it translates because now everybody, there's no animosities or no egos out there. Everybody can, be real with one another so we can go out there and play the best basketball we can.
Ray, with all that said, how is this playoff experience different than years past?
The playoffs it's such a dynamic time of year for all of us. You know, we look back and, you know, you let some of these moments slip by, but you forget how much fun you're having, and you realize it after the fact. So I don't think that they're any different at this stage. You know, we're in the first round right now, and we're still trying to build. It's a new season for us. So getting to that point where you start to see what you're building, what you're doing. I think we've all been on playoff teams, and most of us have been to that promised land. So I think we're not really sticking our heads up to look and say where we are. We're still grinding it out and trying to make sure that we put ourselves in good situations.
Ray, Eric mentioned that probably another player with your resume wouldn't have accepted the role this year, a backup role. I'm just wondering, how has this year been in terms of, if you can kind of frame it in your career?
It's been great. It's probably in my 17 years, it's probably the one year that went by the quickest. We had so many fun moments, you know, from off the court things, you know, supporting each guy in their charitable foundations, whatever, at home when we're on off days. You know, the team events that we did, we had such great times. To travel on the road, you know, we've had such great times. So when we looked up and we said the playoffs were here, it was incredible that it went so fast. And, you know, that's a testimony to how much fun I had personally and just being with this team. So coming off the bench was, you know, I look down the bench and I have Rashard Lewis, Mike Miller, James Jones, Jawan Howard, you know, Birdman. We got so many great players on that bench, and everybody has sacrificed to be on this team. So it makes it so easy for me to just come off the bench and figure out ways I can help this team. When I'm in there, I'm great. When I'm on the bench, I'm great. And, you know, if I can help somebody when I'm on the bench or on the floor, I try.